While contemplating this gospel this week and going over it at lectionary lunch, it occurred to me that all those wonderful biblical scholars that I had put my trust in these many years got it wrong. They got it wrong about the gospel. They didn't do their history. Jesus says, not one stone will be left on top of another. And all of these biblical scholars said, Jesus is pointing towards the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. No. Sorry, it just doesn't work out historically. Yes, Jerusalem was destroyed. It was sacked in 70 AD. The temple was looted and left as a ruin, but the temple itself, the building, was still there. You got to get on out to about 130 with Bar Kokhba in his revolution. Then the Romans really got tired of it. They took down every stone. Nothing was left on the Temple Mount but rubble, and the only thing remaining of the temple is what we have today, that we call the Western Wall or the Wailing Wall. They even changed the name of Jerusalem to Ayatollah Capitolina. And they salted the fields around Jerusalem and made a law that any Jew that came within a certain distance of that town would be automatically put to death. They had had their share of Middle Eastern unrest. I know how they feel. So they got it wrong. And if they got it wrong, then what is this gospel lesson about? I had to look at that and peel another layer away from it to discern for me what the spiritual message is in this gospel lesson. And it's about faith. Teacher, look at these great buildings and great stones. Wow. They're going to last forever. That's where my confidence is. Not just that, but that building also contains my religious heritage and tradition that will go on never changing, marching all the way till the end of time. I am so certain in certainty. And Jesus calls them out. Jesus calls me out. And Jesus calls you out for following that false idol. So when I stand in front of the bastard idol of certainty, I'm there out of denial and delusion. This is going to turn to dust. And those of you who have been at St. Mary's for a long time have witnessed that this worship space itself has evolved. This wasn't always here, it was up there. And if you've been here a really long time, there was a stone altar against that wall. It's outside now. And if you're here a really, really long time, right across this was a rood screen. Because you nasty lay people shouldn't see the mysteries that are going on up there. But over time, our religious practice has evolved, has changed. And the altar has moved from the wall out to the crossing, out to the people. And you're no longer divided from the mystery of the Eucharist by a wooden screen. Things change. This gospel lesson is telling us a very important truth. Apocalypse happens. It's not something out there in the future waiting for us. It's not when God's going to roll up time and space and say, well, I'm done. Apocalypse is now, with every breath. It's a slow burn. Apocalypse is the change of this moment. Sometimes it happens in big bursts like storms. And whenever we put our faith in great buildings, we need to remember September the 11th and how that shook our confidence. So where do you put your faith today? What do you have confidence in? 401k? The equity in your home? Your job? All those things evolve. All those things change. For me, in grappling with this gospel lesson, it came down to this. There's only one thing I know for certain. And I don't know how long that's going to last. And this is it. I know the breath of this moment. And I know that in this moment, the gift of that breath comes from the one who made me, made you, made all of this possible. It's a gift of love. That's all I can know for certain in this moment. And that calls me beyond standing at the foot of that idol of certainty to sharing the reality that I know that is love. Look at this. It sure does feel solid. Who knows what our children will make of this space in the years to come. It will evolve and it will change. Who knows what the world will become. It evolves, it changes. But I do know the moment of this breath and the truth of the love given in this breath. And on Thursday, I'll be sure to give thanks for that.